He kicked him out. The plaintiff refused to let him take his truck because it was in her name, but he was making the payments. Owe her money when she stole his truck from him? No way. He's accused of trucking things up.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Why did you guys get divorced?
Because he drank a lot, he was abusive.
Okay, so why would you want him to come back into your house?
Well, he said he'd change, which when he came back down, things were fine for a couple of years.
It's Health Foods Unlimited's 38th anniversary sale.
They're over a truck. The defendant says they still live together, but she kicked him out and kept the truck. So why should he pay? It's the case of keep on trucking on your own.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Adams.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing your ex-husband and former roommate after that, Mr. Kemper, for $2,500, the amount of a loan that you made to him that, according to you, he has not repaid. Tell me how this came about.
Okay, my daughter and him, they were getting along, so he moved back down here in December.
From where?
Michigan.
Okay, well, come on up, daughter. Are you daughter? All right. So your dad comes to visit.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's living in Michigan at the time.
Yes, ma'am.
And you suggest, how about if you come down and live with us in Florida? Where?
Down in Jacksonville, Florida, where I was living with my mother.
In her house?
Yes, ma'am.
So was the idea that your ex-husband was going to come and live in your house?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's fine with that? Everybody was just hunky-dory. Okay. Why did you guys get divorced?
Because he drank a lot, he was abusive.
Okay, so why would you want him to come back into your house?
Well, he said he'd change, which when he came back down, things were fine for a couple of years. Then he started back after I loaned him the money.
Okay.
He started.
So you actually lived together as roommates?
Yeah.
One big happy family for how many years? For years?
2 years. Couple of years. 2 years.
No kidding. All right. Well, you know, shut me up. All right. So you spend a couple of years and everything's fine. During that course of the couple of years, he needs a car, but his credit is really bad.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you end up doing what with that first car?
I loaned him
$2,500. That's accurate, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're all on the same page on that.
Yep.
All right, and that car was what?
Chevy 2500.
Okay, it's a truck?
Yes.
Okay, and then how long did you drive that truck?
For about 6 months.
And what was the agreement that you had with him on repaying you the $2,500?
He was probably paying me back $100 a month.
And did he pay you back $100 a month?
He paid a couple payments.
How many payments do you say you made?
5.
Okay, do you have proof of the payment?
Yes, ma'am.
How would you get proof?
I got receipts and had her sign them.
Okay, so does that sound correct that he made 5 payments?
Yeah.
All right, so he pays back $500, and then what happens? Something goes wrong with that truck, and you trade it in.
The transmission went out in the truck, and since it was in my name, I used it for a trade-in.
Right, and then how'd you get the big $20-something thousand truck? How'd you get that?
When they gave me $1,500 for it, for my truck, for a trade-in, and we had to put it in Miss Adams' name.
Well, you didn't have to. She let you, right?
Right.
Okay, so that was very nice. So you put it in your name. What were you raising your hand to say something?
According to the contract, it only gave him $1,000 for the truck, not $50.
Yeah, you kept saying that, and I noticed that in the contract, the trade-in was $1,000.
Okay, then they only gave...
Okay, so they gave you $1,000. Got it. So now, here's this brand new truck with a big old payment, because the payments now are $524 a month, right?
Yes.
And how much money were you making that was okay?
I just came out of my Social Security, my disability.
Oh, well, then it sounds like a really big payment. If you were on disability and this exorbitant luxury item was coming out of your disability. So was he working on the side so, you know, could eat or no?
No.
What was he doing all day?
Sitting home.
Okay, according to you, he started drinking.
Yeah, he started back drinking, and then he would be like really loud, obnoxious, keeping me up all hours of the night, keeping her up all hours of the night, telling me what I could and couldn't do, and telling her what she could and couldn't do, like he was my father, and like we were still married. I told him, you don't control me. I'm not with you.
Was he paying rent?
No.
Or helping out with the mortgage?
Nothing.
Okay, so what was all this about? Just you loved him and you wanted him around, Brandy?
I wanted, since he was not in my life, I wanted him to be in my children's life because I have 2 little girls, and so he babysat them for me.
Oh, okay, so that's something.
He still got paid for that as well.
Oh, then that's nothing. All right.
Yeah. I was paying him to babysit his own grandchildren.
Okay.
Living there for free, getting fed for free. They didn't go.
How were you all getting along during that time?
Pretty well.
Until?
until he started his drinking and started trying to control everybody. You know, if I was even a day late on paying him for the babysitting, he would threaten to stop babysitting. I work a 40-hour job.
Okay. So who tells him you got to go?
It was like an agreement between her and I because we couldn't you know.
All right, so when you
deal with
tell
it.
him, how did he take it? Well or not well? Not well.
Not well.
All right. Where did you go?
I moved back to Michigan.
Okay. And that's where you're living now?
Yes.
So when was the last time you saw your grandkids? Then?
Since she deleted me off Facebook, it's been since December.
How's it feel that your daughter's on the other side?
I don't care.
So I imagine you kind of miss your grandkids, right?
Yeah.
It's not their fault. None of this is, right?
No.
How old are your grandkids?
2 and 3.
They're not even going to remember you.
No.
If you don't fix this, they're not even going to know you. Fix it.
Fox Tuesday. Class is back in session.
So, would you ever, under any circumstances, continue to live with your ex-spouse?
No way.
Why?
Well, why would you live with somebody that you clearly don't want to be with?
You don't want to necessarily be married to him, but would you ever live with them after you divorce?
Absolutely.
You would? Because?
Because they're just a fine person, and there's a reason why you fell in love with them in the first place.
Okay, this is a guy with a backstory. You can just tell, right? Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have a drinking issue?
Yes, I do.
Are you doing anything about it?
I quit for 6 months while I was living with them, cold turkey. And then just when things started going downhill again, I started back.
So what are you doing to help yourself?
Nothing.
If you feel like you have a problem, don't you think maybe you should try to do something about your problem, regardless of where their lives are or where their children's lives are? And don't you think for yourself you should try to do something? How old are you?
48.
You're a young man. So I imagine you kind of miss your grandkids, right?
Yeah.
It's not their fault. None of this is, right?
No.
How old are your grandkids?
2 and 3.
They're not even going to remember you.
No.
If you don't fix this, they're not even going to know you. Fix it. Fix it. Let's talk about the debt. She wants you to pay back the $2,500. Oh, by the way, when he leaves, what happens with the truck?
I kept it.
Did you want to take it and keep making payments?
I told her I wanted to keep the truck and keep making payments.
Was he
on it,
behind
but
on payments?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you kept it because it was in your name. But he hadn't breached your agreement. He hadn't missed a payment. So you chose to keep the truck.
Yeah, because I figured if he took it up to Michigan, I'd probably never see the truck and he wouldn't make payments on it.
I got you. I understand why you did what you did. I'm just trying to figure it out because now you have this big $524 truck payment for a truck that are you driving it?
Every now and then I'll drive it, yeah.
And you haven't tried to sell it?
No.
Because you want to keep it?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
keep it.
All right. Let's talk about what he owes you. Your objection is, Judge, I owe her nothing because she kept the truck, right?
Well, that and I made 3 payments on that truck prior to her keeping it, which it's in her name.
But you were also driving it then, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of a wash. But the payments that you made towards the original loan, I agree with you, should be credited, right? That $500. So then that's down to $2,000. Then the issue becomes, when you decide to keep that truck, then what happens to his initial investment of a truck? That truck brought down the purchase price. The original truck brought down the purchase price of the truck that you kept, right? By $1,000. Shouldn't he get credit for that? Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't disagree with your anticipation that there'd be a problem down the road. It's just that that does not a breach make. And unless he is in breach of the verbal agreement you folks had because he didn't make a payment, all right, then you can't say, oh, but it's not my fault. I inherited this big nut and this big finance, truck. You inherited that because you chose to. You understand? So no, we don't take that into account. Okay. You follow me? So what have we got? We've got a $2,500 original debt. We have $500 of it paid. He thinks I should take into account the payments he made towards it, but I'm not because he got to use it that time, so I'm going to call that a wash. And we have $1,000 that was the trade-in value of his investment that you're asking him to pay for. So that would leave $1,000 that he still owes you. I am going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff $1,000. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yep.
Does that seem fair to everybody? Okay. Good luck, everyone. Can I just... Okay. I don't mean to be preachy, but I sincerely hope, and I know that you guys live in different states, and so maybe it's not even going to happen, but any family that had this kind of love in their hearts at some point to set up the thing you guys set up has hope. So don't just throw it away. I mean, try to do something to help yourself. Try to, you know, prove that you did it, and try to make some connection, because I think there's hope for you folks. You know, you don't want to miss out on grandkids. They're the most delicious thing in the world. No responsibility and all coochie-coo. You don't want these kids to not know who you are. They're so little now, they're not going to remember. Right? Good luck, folks.
All right, hold on, guys.
With those words, Judge Milian rules. You heard her ruling, went for the plaintiff somewhat, and your reaction to what she had to say.
I'm pleased with not having to pay the whole $2,500.
Okay. What about Judge Milian's words about hope for you and your family?
I don't think there's no hope for the family, but I'm going to still, maybe I'll seek help.
All right, well, good luck. All right, step in here. And you tell me what you think of this verdict.
Well, I expected more, but I'll be satisfied with the $1,000 because she did make a good point as far as the payment they gave us toward the Chevy. But yeah,
When the judge asked him to look over there and see his daughter over there, and he said he didn't care, what'd you feel?
Nothing. He